My name is Ian Campbell. I created a DIY bike lane. Actually, I created a virtual version of a DIY bike lane by doing an image in Photoshop. Painting on the streets is sort of illegal, so that's why you have to do this in a roundabout fashion. But bike lanes promote community building and give us safer ways to get around the city. Wanted to try and showcase that as a possibility in a way that the community can get involved by doing some of the work for the city, or at least providing the ideas that they might want to move forward with. So.
Okay, I'm Robert Janderlich, and I brought in a pair of vintage skis today, what I made a wine rack out of. Now, I only brought in about a third of the product because the vintage ski is 6 foot tall and holds a case of wine. My next door neighbor and I got to talking about this, and we had an idea and some designs, and I thought about this design where it attaches to the wall and holds a case of wine. My wife was very enthused about it because it uses old vintage skis, and we learned a lot about old vintage skis and how they were made, and the texture and the wood and the metal that's in them. Plus, hey, skis go into landfills. There's not much use for them. They're all over the place in the trash cans. We can do something with these skis.
My name is Chelsea Moore. For this project I made a birdhouse platform. It has a bird feeder and a bird bath, so birds can have good food and clean water to bathe in.
What's it made out of?
Oh, birdhouses are made out of wood, and these are plastic dishes.
My name is Leah, and I wanted to create a piece of artwork that was related to books somehow, and I wasn't really sure how I could tie that into benefiting the community besides just the fact that books are awesome. And I decided that Roxborough doesn't have a book swap, and we would really benefit from having one. So I decided to theme my piece around a book swap and used old books and canvas and some foam board and just tore pages out of old books and pasted them all onto each other and built a stack of them basically.
My name's Ella, and my Open for Design project was to dress up fire hydrants as dogs so you could look for them around the city, because it's not that fun looking around for cows, and I thought it would be a fun to do that because you could look for them around like I just said, and it would make a good scavenger hunt in the middle of the day if you couldn't do anything.
My name is Seth Frankel. I built a free library for my neighborhood, and the library is a small little structure made out of repurposed and recycled materials from local building projects, my own, taken from dumpsters in the neighborhood. And the idea is to have a place to share books and ideas in front of our house. I live at a corner and has a great little patio with chairs around it, and so it's a place for people to leave a book, take a book, hopefully not take the whole library.
My name is Nicholas Kernstein, and I've constructed a small-scale model of a sculpture that I was going to make with using pallets. They're reusable materials, they're abundant out here. People are giving them away free to get rid of, so I decided to make models with them. They clutter up neighborhoods, and if you can take the same amount that's piled up on the side of the road and make something nice with it and put it in the area, it really decorates the place up a lot.
Hi, my name is James Tipton, and I'm a student at the Art Institute of Colorado, and I'm a retiree from the United States Air Force after 24 years. I was inspired by my design, which is an ammo can from the military, to have a collection point in the neighborhood for people that like to throw their cigarette butts on the ground. The name of this is actually called Butt Can, and what people would do is walk by and it says, "Please place cigarette butts in the top of the can." I've placed some hooks on the side so it can hang on a chain link fence or perhaps a trash can, and then have a place for people in the neighborhood to discard their cigarette butts and hopefully encourage them to keep the neighborhood clean.
I'm Martha Williams, and my husband Wayne and I live in the Fraser Valley, but we have a second home in Denver. We kind of do it the opposite way, and over the many years we've lived there, we realized, we now understand that Denver's water, our flowers, our parks, are watered by water that goes right by our house and is diverted over to the other side. So some friends Leo and Dave, who did some painting and handiwork for us, surprised us by doing this mural to remind us of the mountains when we're down here. And the neighborhood has all really enjoyed it and gives us a chance to remind them of where Denver's water comes from. So it's been a fun neighborhood project.
My name is Christina Krebs, and I submitted a photograph of a clothesline hanging in Washington Park. And the whole idea is to try to encourage people to use a clothesline and clothespins and pen and not spin. And actually this is a project that I started about a year ago in support of a movement across the United States called laundrylist.org, and to try to get people to cut back on using their clothes dryers to save energy. So this is part of this project. I created a clothespin brigade with my friends, and so we go around and try to get people to pin and not spin.
I'm Sally Kurtzman, and I live in Laurie, which is a recommissioned Air Force base on the east side of town. And what we did was we took old kids' airplanes and spray painted them, and then put plants in them so they could be used for a planter, or people could use it for their name in front of their house, or they could put their address on it. And we're just trying to get a focal point for Laurie being Air Force and airplanes. Too often people say, "Oh, you live in Stapleton." We go, "No, Stapleton's different. We live in Laurie." And we're very proud of our Laurie, and Laurie United Neighborhoods helped with all of this, and so it's a great way to celebrate our neighborhood, a great way to recycle, and a great way to have fun spray painting old children's toy planes.
So my name is Aina Thomas, and I'm not Denver native, but I live here now for 10 years. So my project was, every time I drive by empty a lot, I think it's too empty and just wasted space. So my idea would be to do temporary sculpture space for empty lots. So that's what I did. So it could be, 1 month, 2 months, and any artist, even me, would love that opportunity to have their sculpture in the neighborhood.
I'm Katherine Clark, and I've made a recycled old flower pot missing a drip pan into a new flower pot with a vinyl record made drip pan complete with drain spout, and it's bringing urban agriculture a chance to take root in my neighborhood of Littleton, Colorado. And that's about all I got, man.
My name is Laurie Kubitz-Manus, and I'm representing the Denver Public Library. Some friends and I got together from the library to put together a project to make our community more beautiful through literacy. We chose to make giant magnetic poetry. Our initial idea, we weren't sure how it was going to work, that we could share it, and we came up with adding it to dumpsters to make those spaces more beautiful. Our challenge was, and maybe for next time, is to maybe make the magnets scratch and sniff for another time, maybe.
My name is Karen Carr, and what I did is I took some bricks and I grouted them together, and then I sprayed them with a chalkboard paint and put a simple frame around it with samples of what my idea is to embrace and what it's not. And the purpose behind my project was to come up with a solution for unwanted graffiti on brick walls or garage doors throughout Denver and the Highlands, and my solution would be to spray paint those surfaces with a chalkboard paint, and in doing this would allow people to express themselves in a creative, safe way, and also legal, and also alleviate some of that desire for people to be destructive and vandalize by making it an allowable thing. So that's kind of where I'm going.
Hello, my name is Mitchell Gearhart. And the project I made today was a reclaimed bus stop made out of reclaimed metal from old airport graveyards. I really feel that the local community can really get behind these local bus stops to kind of create a bus stop that really reflects who they are or what they want to become. This also in turn makes it better for the community for having better bus stop areas for people to sit and wait on local public transportation.